Hello and welcome to my YouTube page and social media. My name is Valerie Cameron. Usually, when you come to my page, you are seeing movie reviews, interviews with different people in the film industry, and maybe some other adventures in my life. But today, I wanted to do a solo episode on mental illness. I know it's super exciting. Um, I do want to let everyone know that I am not a doctor. I am not a therapist. I have not gone to school to learn about mental illness at all. What I am is I am a 43-year-old human that has been dealing with different sides of mental illness since I was young, whether it be from other people in my life. Or myself. And I just needed to start talking about it on my social medias, like my Instagram, my Facebook. I have talked about different things in my past and in my life that I've been dealing with. And I have to say right off the bat, like before 5 years ago, I thought that I was patient and empathetic with people that had mental illness happening in their life. And then I realized about 5 years ago that I was a complete jerk to people that were going through mental health issues in their life because of some things that were wrong with me. And as I started to go deeper and darker into my own situation, I realized that the things I was expecting other people to do was wrong. Like, for instance, I'm not going to go into my whole background on this first mental health episode, um, but, I was a hard worker. I was at the height of my career in my 30s. And I would go to work every day and I would work really hard, and I expected everyone else to do the same. And I know that I was working with some people that were going through some hard times. And in my mind, I felt bad for them and I wanted to be there for them. And the first or second time I would be, that's fine, that's okay. And then when they just couldn't get over it, I was like, in my mind, I detested it. I was like, why can you not shake this? Why can you not get over this? And my pug is trying to get in here. By the way, I have two dogs. And I was so just kind of angry. And I thought at them or the situation, but I realized later that I was angry at myself because there was a certain time in my life where my mother had passed away. She had been struggling with cancer for 10 years, and the final year of her life was very difficult. And I was working at a very prominent job at the time for a very prominent internationally known company. And I took some days and then I jumped right back into work. And I figured that if I can come back to work after my mom died, then why can't this person just shake whatever is going on in their life? Why can't they just shake it off? Why can't they just deal with it? When they come to work, why can't they just focus on work and then go home and leave your personal stuff at home? I get it. There are some situations where you need to do that. You need to check yourself at the door. You need to come to work. You need to be professional. And then, when you're not at work, you can deal with it. However, if someone is dealing with something very traumatic and you have not opened the door to try and understand that situation, and I'm pretty sure that my person, that my energy was probably letting this person know that they couldn't come to me. And I found out later that what they were going through was pretty horrific. And I apologized to them for not trying to be understanding. We're never going to know totally what people are going through ever. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm going through. And that's why I wanted to do this video today, and hopefully to spark a conversation with myself, to spark a conversation with you. Maybe you spark a conversation with someone else. And maybe we can actually lift the stigma. I thought that after I had hit my bottom, hit my worst, had a suicide attempt, had 2 therapists, on antidepressants, then off antidepressants, and then like rebuilding my life. I thought that I had this awareness that I was out there saying, take the stigma off. If you need help, reach out. If you're going through mental illness, we are here for you. I am here for you. And I really thought that I had become this enlightened person about mental illness. And last week, I found out that that was a big fat lie. That I really haven't gone much further than I was 5 years ago. I have been struggling. My dog really wants to get in here. Because he knows that I need him. So hold on. All right. The dogs are in. Both of them. And this is live, so I can't cut this out or anything, but this is my life. This is live. Rhodey and Fern are my dogs. Fern, you're okay. I know you don't like being away from me when I'm sad. Okay. So over the last year of my life, I was going to say a couple months, but let's be real. We're getting real, right? I have been struggling more than I was for the 4 years. So in 2018, August of 2018, I took a lot of pills, and 2 weeks after that, I was told, and I hadn't told anyone, by the way. I'm going to kind of not get into all the details of that because I really want to talk about where I am right now, and then in another episode, I will talk about that specific time of my life. But I didn't tell anybody what had happened. And then 2 weeks after that, I was told that my now ex-husband did not want to be married anymore. And we had been together for 20 years. So I had 2 very devastating situations happening to me at one time. So I really hit like this low, but I was determined. I was determined to prove to myself and to him and to all these other people that I was worthy. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to get mentally stable. I'm going to be good at my job. I'm going to get back to this person that I was before I turned 39. And I'm going to be amazing. And then I finally told my story in October of that year. I used to host a morning show in Salt Lake City, and I got on the air and I shared it. And I thought, okay, well, I mean, I shared it, and I've shared it a few times since. And I've shared when I've had down days, and I thought, I'm helping myself because I'm the kind of person that this is therapy to me. Talking it out, getting in front of people, hearing other people's stories so that I feel like maybe I'm not alone. You feel like you're not alone. Figuring it out. This is how I figure it out. So since September of 2018 till now, I really thought that I had put in the work, in the time. I'm an advocate now, not like full-fledged, but I'm out there saying, hey, it's normal to be not normal, I guess would be. I'm sure I'm going to get flagged for not using correct verbiage, but I'm just trying to be as real as I can. Knowing full and well that nobody may ever watch this video ever, but again, it's a little bit for me, and I'll get into that right now. So, over the past year, I've been getting lower and lower, and over the past couple of weeks, I don't feel like any version of myself that I have ever felt in my life. Pretty like out of body experience, dark. And so last week I used one of the tools that I've learned over the past 5 years, and I raised my hand and I told my now husband that I needed help, that I can't do it on my own, that I need to get back on antidepressants, that I need to go back to a therapist, and I want him to come with me so that maybe he can learn some tools on how to deal with this with me. Because if you've ever loved someone who has dealt with any form of mental health issue, you know that it's hard. It's hard being a person and dealing with yourself with the issue. And so we went to our family therapist that we had used, that I felt comfortable with. If you've ever gone to therapy before, you know it's very hard to find somebody that you trust, that you feel comfortable with. And starting over sometimes can be super daunting. If you go to someone new and start from scratch, it can be very exhausting just to think about that. And I'm already exhausted. And so we went. And this therapist that I'd gone to is a therapist that when I got remarried, me and my husband and my daughter, we all went together so that we could deal and learn with or learn how to be with each other as a blended family. And so I felt like he knew enough. He didn't know everything, but he knew enough about me that I didn't have to start from the beginning. But I did have to look him in the face and say that I am depressed, that I have thought about hurting myself, that I need to get back on antidepressants because I cannot do this, whatever this is, by myself anymore. And that's hard. Because one, I don't like to fail, and I feel like I've had a lot of failures in the past 5 and 6 years. And I also tell people to run towards failure. So there's another reason that I'm a hypocrite. Because you learn so much. Like, don't be afraid to fail, right? But I thought that I was getting better, and I didn't understand how I could possibly be getting worse. And as he's asking me questions and we're talking about things, and my husband is sitting there being quiet but observant and giving me the space that I need, but also making sure he knows that I know that he's there. I told the therapist that I had had a suicide attempt a while back, that I had miscarried for the 8th time, but my 9 babies. This was a couple of years ago. That I don't care about anything. I don't care. It is. I don't want to say. I feel like when you say you don't care, people think a very certain thing about that word care. I love very much. I hurt very much. But right now, I don't care very much. And that hurts because I want to care. I want to wake up every day and not have to push myself to do regular everyday things. I just want to get up and I want to go. Um, I feel like I'm a very capable person. But right now I'm not capable of much. That's scary to say out loud too, because I want to continue working and I need to earn money and I need to pay bills. But to put out that statement could easily trigger people that I would want to work with or future jobs and be like, well, is she going to show up? Is she going to do her job? So as I'm sitting there and explaining these feelings to my therapist and explaining what's going on with me and trying to be as truthful as possible, but also trying to contain some sort of dignity, because as much as I am also over here, this person that's a nice person, I feel like, and I somewhat aware of myself. Because I am aware of myself, I know that I'm also a narcissist, and I have narcissistic tendencies. And those tendencies took what he said next to the next level. As he said, have you ever been told that you are bipolar? Bipolar. Now, if you're new and you're still listening, because we're almost 17 minutes in, wow, thank you for listening. You understand that I grow up in the movie world. I watch a lot of movies. And when I go to Google right now and I say misleading movies about being bipolar, just Googled that. Okay. Let's see what comes up with this, because they're probably movies that we have all watched. Silver Lining Playbook, Academy Award winning movie. Empire, I don't know what that is. Law and Order, we've all watched. I don't watch it as much. But Silver Lining Playbook #1, let's see if we can find some other movies here. Here's 10 movies that inaccurately relate us to bipolar disorder. All right. And this is from CBR. I'm just going to try and find, Joker. Have you seen the movie Joker with Joaquin Phoenix? Have you seen Fatal Attraction? Have you seen Psycho? Have you seen Shutter Island? That's a triggering movie. Let's see. Me, Myself, and Irene. That movie is annoying. So Midsummer, that one's a little bit tricky. So Midsummer says that it accurately depicts trauma, but inaccurately depicts bipolar. And this is hard because Midsummer is like this cult phenomenon of a movie. And I would say do not tread lightly into this movie because it's a lot. The Shining is #1 on this list. What do a lot of these movies have in common? They're depicted as horror or even evil villain movies. So I have learned a lot about mental illness in the past 5-10 years, mostly more and more the last 5 years. My daughter has some issues as well, but very different than mine. And so I've learned about her issues. When I was younger, I was told that I had depression, but it was manic depression. And so I was a very happy child, but I had these manic tendencies to be really happy and then kind of would go down into this dark phase. But I wasn't like, it wasn't like dangerous. I was just like, okay, well, that's fine. My parents didn't really do a whole lot about it. I went on living my life. I was fine. I didn't get on medication. I just spent time trying to be happy, right? So when my therapist says the word bipolar, I immediately went into judgy mode. What? I mean, I am this like regular kind of crazy over here, and I know that word shouldn't be used most of the time when it comes to mental illness. Well, anytime, but I'm talking about me and where my brain is. And remember, I'm being real. But now you're mentioning bipolar, and that's a whole different kind of mental illness, right? Why would he say that I could possibly be bipolar? Is there something really, really wrong with me? Really, that's what I'm saying to myself because, like, I had a suicide attempt. I basically turned my life upside down and changed it like overnight. And I think this is the issue. Why? Because I've been watching my entire life bipolar being put in a category of evil, villainous, murderers, psychos. And so now you're telling me this is legit, that I may have a legit mental illness, not just depression. I hate the word just, but in my mind, I just went backwards 5 years because depression is serious. But then I let this word eat me alive for a week and I got even lower, lower, and lower. I didn't know anything real about bipolar disorder. So let me read something to you. This is on the Mayo Clinic about bipolar disorder. It says right off the bat, formerly called manic depression. It's a mental health condition that causes extreme mood swings that include emotional highs and lows. Depression. When you become depressed, you may feel sad or hopeless and lose interest or pleasure in most activities. You mean this person who has bipolar disorder may not care about anything? When your mood shifts to mania or hypermania, less extreme than mania, you may feel euphoric, full of energy, or unusually irritable. Now, I am not that much of an irritable person, but there are times where I am sparked. I am ready. I have all these ideas and I have so much energy, and let's go. So there we go. These mood swings can affect sleep. I suck at sleeping. Energy, activity, judgment, behavior, and the ability to think clearly. Episodes of mood swings may occur rarely or multiple times a year. While most people will experience some emotional symptoms between episodes, some may not experience any. Although bipolar disorder is a lifelong condition, you can manage your mood swings and other symptoms by following a treatment plan. In most cases, bipolar disorder is treated with medications and psychological counseling, psychotherapy. Said nothing about any of the things that I saw in these movies. Now, I do know, depending on the person that has any of these symptoms, things are different. The one thing that we do, almost all of us know about mental illness, is that what we know about mental illness changes every day. No one person is the same. No one person has the same symptoms. We all have similar symptoms with mental illness if we have it, but it's different from person to person, time to time, year to year, depending on your body, what's going on, all of these things. But what I did to myself was I proved to myself that I'm still kind of a dick when it comes to mental illness. I don't know yet if I do have bipolar, but reading that summary, I feel like I do. And if I do, then why wouldn't I be excited that I actually know what's going on with me? Because if I come out and I recognize that I have bipolar disorder, I have now just put myself in a category with murderers and evil villains and people that end up in institutions. How about when I finally find out if for sure, because that was one therapy session with this person, I am going to get off this live stream and call and go online and get my next therapy session set up. And we're going to get that, like, yes, you are bipolar and here's what we're going to do about it. Or, hey, you know what? You might just have symptoms of being bipolar. Either way, I am just elated that I might know what's going on with me for right now. And there might be a treatment to get me back to caring about what I do on a day-to-day basis, because I am exhausted. We're going to talk more about this. I'm going to be back here. I would love to hear what you're going through. I'll be reading the comments, good, bad, ugly. I'm sure it's going to be all of the above if, again, anyone does watch this. I'm also going to be back doing movie reviews because I need to. But my mental health over the past year has literally stopped me from doing the things that I want to do. So I appreciate you listening. We're going to do more episodes. I'm going to do a lot of episodes by myself, just me out here talking about what I'm going through, and hopefully talking to you about what you're going through. And we can talk together. Mental illness is real. It's not something that's made up. And we need to listen. We need to talk. We need to learn. We need to be here for each other. So I'm going to try. I'm not going to try. I am going to be more open-minded for real about mental illness. And I hope you are too. So thank you.